This printer. Costs $160, but HP would probably prefer it if you paid $8 a month to rent it instead. It might not sound like a lot until you realize the subscription locks you into a 2-year commitment. After 2 years, you'll spend $192, 20% more than it would have cost to buy the printer outright. The subscription includes ink, but HP artificially limits how many pages you can print each month. Exceed that, and it charges you more. But it gets worse. After those 2 years, you still won't own them. HP's terms of service explicitly state you do not own HP device and subscription cartridges provided, even if you complete the entire subscription term. Over the past 20 years, subscriptions have taken over our economy.
You can't buy a car today without seems like a half dozen subscriptions.
I'm powerless. I just turn up one day and suddenly I've got to pay more money.
But the cost isn't the only problem. If everything is a subscription, we won't actually own anything. Consumers are fed up, and some are fighting for the right to own what they buy.
It's another Uber. Am I free to own things or trade rent independently?
But challenging subscriptions means taking on some of the largest companies in the world.
A whole bunch of industries that are not trying to make their products or services better. They're trying to find new ways to earn money from consumers every month.
So how did we get to the point where practically everything is a subscription? And why is owning nothing making everything so expensive? The subscriptions feel modern, but they've been around for centuries. Americans used pay-as-you-go for newspapers, magazines, milk, and even fruit. But technology enabled companies to turn anything into a subscription.
Consumers knew they were subscribing to a newspaper because it landed on their doorstep every morning. The fact that consumers are paying for services that they're not actually using is a trend that technology has enabled.
It started with cable. For decades, most TV channels were free, and there weren't many options.
Go get this wonderful kit to get a Captain Video picture frame.
But that changed in the 1970s. Satellites enabled nationwide broadcasting, and the government allowed more channels on the air. The first company to leverage this lucrative technology was HBO. It realized that consumers would pay monthly to access its curated channel. Cable was an early example of paying for a subscription without getting a physical product in return. And it was wildly successful.
There's going to be a huge demand for material very shortly, in a couple of years, for cable.
HBO signed up over 14 million subscribers in a decade. And by the mid-1980s, dozens of channels had followed its lead.
I want my MTV!
The percentage of households with a cable subscription jumped from 7.5% in 1970 to around 67% by 1999. But that was just the beginning. Starting in the 1990s, internet providers like AOL connected millions of Americans using subscription.
You got mail.
And consumers started shopping online.
Companies pretty quickly understood that this new structure of the relationship with consumers gave them opportunities, not for like a one-time payment, but for an ongoing monthly revenue stream.
Companies took something that consumers used to buy once and instead asked them to pay continuously for access, like software from Salesforce, music from Rhapsody, and online games from Blizzard.
World of Warcraft. Try it for free at warcraft.com.
Shift turned products into services.
There's so many people and so many internet users. I mean, for us, this is the beginning.
They sacrifice this trade-off of control for convenience, right?
Improved online payment systems reduced friction. And as e-commerce grew, subscriptions popped up for every aspect of daily life. But the rise of smartphones is what solidified this transformation in the late 2000s.
For the first time on a mobile device, you can have the internet in your pocket.
Using apps had become a daily routine, and it didn't take long for some developers to start charging small monthly fees for them.
The subscription economy has grown from a small set of goods and services to almost everything you can think about.
Even sleeping has a subscription now. The company 8 Sleep sells a smart mattress cover that costs over $3,000. Most of its functionality is locked behind a $17 monthly fee. That subscription is mandatory for at least your first year. I probably have 10 to 20 monthly subscriptions. Am I allowed to use the word enshittification here?
Netflix, Hulu, Dropbox,
Vogue,
HBO Max, Google Storage,
Apple TV, New Yorker.
Amazon Prime, YouTube TV, my local YMCA,
I do actually pay for Peacock.
NBA League Pass. You do not get access to local games. If I want to watch a Knicks game, I have to subscribe to a totally different service. I'm convinced that there's just like a few hiding that I don't know about. Oh, Spotify. Oh my gosh, it's really impossible to have one service that gives you everything you actually want.
Technology proliferated subscriptions,